Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new, if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina and today I'm very excited. I'm so excited. One, because I'm doing a show breakdown and I haven't done a show breakdown in months because I've barely posted in months, but also the show that I'm going to be talking about today. It has to be one of my favorite shows of 2021. If I'm being like, it's like so top tier that it's kind of sick. Like, actually, I'm so invested in all of these characters. It's kind of ridiculous, which is why I'm begging for the season 2 of it to come out within, like, maybe I'm giving them until the summer of 2022, maybe the spring. Okay, no later than that. I don't want to wait a year or two for this, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm going to be talking about the new show on HBO Max, The Sex Lives of College Girls. It is their newest show. It premiered in November and it just ended like a little over a week ago, and I just finished my rewatch of it and now I'm gonna talk about it and it's gonna be a fun time. So yeah, if you guys don't know what my show breakdowns are, basically it's just when I talk about a show that I've watched, I talk about the characters and I talk about stuff that I've liked and stuff that I disliked and everything else in between. Usually this stays on par. Like, usually I have a good script, which is why if you see me looking over here, I'm looking at my notes. I usually have like a good script that goes along with this, but with this show, I don't know, I feel like I'm just gonna go off the rails a little bit because there's so much to talk about, and the episodes were only like 30 minutes long minus the pilot was like an hour long. But for 30-minute long episodes and only 10 episodes in the season, I have so much to say that I'm trying to like keep the video like at a minimum maybe 40 minutes like my other videos, but I don't know. I have no idea how this is gonna go because it's like it's characters. I'm so invested. It's ridiculous. Let's just get into it, shall we? First character I'm gonna be talking about is gonna start off on a sour note. Dalton, yeah, Whitney's coach, married coach, that is having an affair with Whitney. Yeah, Dalton, a creep, predator, if you will, kept lying to Whitney, saying that he was going to leave his wife, but of course he didn't because men, terrible. And you realize that throughout the show that a lot of the men in the show, terrible people. Like, he gave me the creeps within the first episode before like they even showed the parts of him and Whitney hooking up. I was like, this guy doesn't fit. It just doesn't, he seems a little off, and I was right, and of course I was right. Then we find out later on in the show that like he had an affair with multiple students, not just Whitney. Yeah, Dalton, creep, terrible, disgusting, not seeing heaven. Let's move on. Next we have Lila. Lila, what a queen. Honestly, hilarious. One of the funniest characters on the show. I would like to see more of her, preferably outside of the workplace. I'm pretty sure the only time we saw her when she wasn't working with Kimberly and Kanan was at the party in the last episode of the season. Yeah, she was there and she was vibing, and I was like, oh my god, it was so nice to see her when she's not like doing labor. Let's do that again. Let's try that again next season because I really like her character. I think she's really cool. I think she's funny, and I think she's one of the realest people that Kimberly has surrounded herself with in terms of like her college experience. I think she needs people like that outside of course, her roommates. Like, she needs more people like that, especially after all the stuff that she's been through this season. Like, Lila needs a little bit more screen time, preferably for me. And that's all I have to say because we don't know anything about her. So yeah, that's all I ask. More of her in season 2, please. Next we have my love, Kanan. He's so cute. Okay, so Kanan, I really do adore this man. I do. I love him. I thought right off the bat that I loved him, which is why I was scared. I was scared that he was going to disappoint me maybe. And don't get me wrong, there's still time. It's only the first season of this new show. He has time to disappoint me, but as of right now, within this first season, I kind of love him and I really hope the best for him and Whitney later on. That's right. I want him and Whitney together. I see it. I can see the future. Call me Raven, because I swear, guys, I can see it. And those of you that are shipping him and Kimberly are so sick and twisted. Don't do that. Don't say that. That is so evil. Why would you say that? No, because I saw a few of you on Twitter making those kind of comments like, oh my god, they're kind of cute, and I was like, that's very weird. We don't need any more swirls. Okay, I already see one swirl in this show's future. We don't need Kanan and Kimberly to be another. So let's just stop. Let's take a pause and see the reality of it, okay? Because if you look at it from my perspective, as for anyone else who has eyes who watched this show, Whitney and Kanan were like flirting throughout the whole entire season. And though they were never really together, I see it, guys. I see it. They even like hooked up in the beginning of the season. Like, come on, don't tell me you don't see it. Kimberly has her own issues to work out. And I'd rather them not be pushed on to Kanan, no matter how cute they are. Like, no, leave my boy alone. Let him be at peace with Whitney. I beg of you, please. I'm gonna go into ships a lot more later on when I talk about what I like and dislike about the show. But yeah, don't do that to him, please. That sounds like a threat. Like, don't do that. He called Kimberly out in I think it was the first or second episode, like made fun of her for her pushing on Black stereotypes onto him, saying that his mom was like a drug dealer and his brother was in a gang or something, and she like believed it because Kimberly, bless her heart, she's so gullible and like comes from like overall like a majority white neighborhood hometown, so of course she doesn't know. But the fact that she was just saying all this stuff that she said to Kanan, I was like, I don't know if I can like you. And then of course I liked her as the show went on because she's really just very naive, ignorant, and somewhat innocent, like one of the most innocent characters in the show. And that's kind of like her likability, to be honest. But when Kanan called her out for it in the first or second episode, I was like, yes, thank you. Because I was like, she can't keep getting away with this. If this is what we're going to do throughout the rest of the show, I don't know if I can watch. And they finally like nipped that into the bud. It only lasted an episode, thank goodness. I was like, someone call her out. And he did, period. And I just think that he's really sweet and one of the only good guys, if not the only good guy on this show as of right now. I honestly just want to see more of him and his little friend group, because we saw a few of his friends like sprinkled throughout the show a little bit whenever Whitney went to hang out with them. I'm glad that they incorporated like Whitney being around other Black people. Like, that's kind of what I was hoping for. I didn't want to like put it off too much because, again, the first few episodes I was trying to figure out what to think of the show, but as the show went on and I saw her interact with Willow, I'll get to Willow in a second, and then Kanan, and then all these other Black people, I was like, okay, this show might just be for me. This show might have just been made for me. Like, that's crazy. I just want to see more of Kanan's friends next season and Whitney hang out with them a little bit more, because they're kind of cool, kind of funny. Every single scene that had him and his friends in it, I was dying of laughter. They're actual comedians. Bring me more of them, please. Next, we have the one and only Willow. I love Willow. I do. I adore Willow. Love her with all my heart. Kind of the superhero of the season. She's kind of like, I wouldn't even say Whitney's sidekick, just like one of her bestest friends on the show, though it's not like really mentioned that much, but she's kind of like Whitney's girl. Like, she has Whitney's back from the first episode to the end. Like, she's just there for Whitney throughout all the stuff that Whitney goes through, and Whitney goes through a lot this season regarding Dalton and all the stuff that evil man did to her. Willow was there from the jump, and I appreciate that. I did not want Whitney to be alone throughout all of the stuff that she was going through, because obviously she couldn't tell anyone, and for reasons I'll mention later. But the fact that Willow was there to like comfort her, and she didn't judge her once, didn't question her or anything that she did. When Willow pretended for Whitney that she was the one that was sleeping with Dalton, when Whitney's mom came to the school to check up on her, that was some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen. Like, Willow's kind of like a ride or die. I need more of her. I would like to know more about her, like just like personal stuff. Like, I know that she's Black, funny, gay, on the soccer team, for facts, and that's it. Tell me more. Let me know more about her, because that's kind of my girl and she's really cool. Next, we have Alicia. Alicia, where do I start? So I know that Alicia is one of the polarizing characters in the show for a multitude of reasons. I'm just gonna be upfront and say that I love her and I will defend her with all of my being. So if you don't like her, that's totally fine. That's your opinion, but I'm just gonna have to disagree. I met her when she decided to call out Leighton for like being a pretentious bitch, which I appreciated because Leighton, although I love her, like that's my girl, that's my sister, love her to bits, she can kind of like be full of herself and like very ignorant in many ways, especially regarding like the LGBT community and like safe spaces for those people that were within those communities, which is why I think being in that women's group thing that she did, I think that was very important for her, because the way that, I'm telling you, like I love Leighton, but like the way that she talks sometimes is very like out of hand. Like she's like, sometimes she needs to be stopped, and the only one that can put her in her place is Alicia, which I loved, because even Nico can't do that. Like Nico tries, but Leighton will literally have him by the tongue. Like she will literally, like her clapbacks are amazing actually, but Alicia's the only one that can clap back at her, which is great. I love her for that. As for the whole breaking up with Leighton thing, I do not blame Alicia for breaking up with Leighton. I know everyone thinks differently about this. You either love her for this or you hate her for this. I wouldn't say I love the fact that she broke up with Leighton, but I can understand why she broke up with Leighton. Leighton being closeted, it's a big thing, and of course Leighton's not going to want to be open about their relationship, duh. But Alicia being out openly gay, and she was in the closet once upon a time, and her being like a secret and kind of being snuck around in front of like the people that Leighton cares about, it kind of seemed like she was being put back into the closet, and like she was having memories of those moments of when she wasn't out, and it probably didn't do well for her mentally. And I could see it every time Leighton was sneaking her around, or whenever they were hiding in Alicia's like little studio apartment. Like I could tell that Alicia was feeling a little weird about it, so I knew that the breakup was coming. It's just the way that it was handled was kind of like it hit a little too hard in the feelings, you know, because I was rooting for them. We were all rooting for them, okay? Let's not be stupid. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that Alicia shouldn't have broken up with Leighton, because if they would have been together any longer while Leighton was in the closet, it would have probably been a lot worse. The breakup probably would have been a lot worse than what it was, especially with the way Leighton was talking to her. Like when Alicia took the photo of her in the hotel room and Leighton's bag was like in the photo frame. Leighton wasn't in the photo frame, but Leighton's bag wasn't. Leighton she was having a whole freak out moment over that and said, well, yeah, you can delete that because people are gonna act weird about it when they see that it's my bag, because you don't know anyone else who would have a bag like this. It's like $100,000 or something. Like she was being Leighton, and their arguments would have gotten a lot worse, because Leighton can never like, she's always on 100, you know. Leighton will clap back. She will throw insults that will hurt you to your core. And though that's one of the things I love about her, it's not healthy in a relationship, especially one that was like theirs, where it wasn't open. Everything about them was private. And although I think Alicia understood that, I think it got to a point, especially when that photo thing happened, that she noticed, okay, this isn't gonna work. And I can respect that decision. I don't think she was trying to force Leighton to come out. I think she was just like talking from her own experience about what coming out did for her, beneficially speaking. Like obviously she wasn't, I genuinely do not think she was trying to force Leighton to come out to her brother, her family, her friends, or anyone. But she was just trying to give some insight, because obviously Leighton is lost. And I think every time she hooked up with like one of those random women on like Tinder or whatever app she was using to hook up with one of the women that she was with, I remember one of them was like a middle-aged mother, and she was like, hey, you're closeted, right? I didn't know that. I thought like kids your age would be like proud to be out and all this stuff. Like it seemed like every woman that she was going to, every person was like someone counseling her, because people could tell that she was like angry about something. Like Leighton would just needed help. And although you could say that like Alicia's help was very misguided or like not worded correctly, like she could have done a better job, I think she was doing the best she could with the way that Leighton was in that moment, yeah, I don't think she was mean about it. I think that she really did the best that she could. And I love Alicia. So if Alicia doesn't want Leighton, I am right here. I am right here for the taking. Alicia, kind of in love with her, I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, that's how I feel about Alicia. My own personal monologue. I'm on Alicia's side. I'm also on Leighton's side. Don't ask me to choose. I will not. That's very rude of you to ask me to choose. I love them both. I am on both of their sides. And I'll get into more about how I feel about Leighton when I get to her. But that's just how I feel about the whole thing from Alicia's point of view, okay? Okay, now let's go to the next character. It's Nico. Okay, so Nico, I had so much faith, so much hope. He was setting himself up to be such a great guy in like the first half of the season, and then like he proved that he was a guy, and then he let everyone down, including me. And I don't know where I stand with him. You know, obviously it sucks that he cheated on his girlfriend with Kimberly without telling Kimberly. And, you know, I don't defend his actions. I really don't. I think what he did was really, really fucked up. What really pushed me over the edge was when Leighton told him to go talk to Kimberly face to face, because obviously Kimberly literally lost her virginity like a few weeks before she started hooking up with Nico. So like she was new to the whole friends with benefits thing and like casual sex overall thing. So of course when she found out that Nico was basically using her in a way that she didn't consent to behind her back, she was gonna feel some type of way about it. And Leighton, being, you know, the awesome girl that she is, she went to Nico, her brother, saying like, hey, talk to Kimberly because you hooked up with her. I see her sulking around my whole entire dorm because she's upset because you couldn't keep your dick in your pants, so you need to go talk to her. And of course, Nico, being a guy, proves that he can't even do that, right? Because he doesn't go talk to her. The only time he talks to her is when he has no choice, because Kimberly shows up to the party that I mentioned in the last episode previously, and yeah, they had their little moment. Somewhat of a moment. I don't know if it was really a moment or if it was just... it was something. I feel like if they were to interact next season, it would be awkward. She might have to just ignore him. I think that's how it's gonna go for it, because I don't need them to interact. I know that they're like the main ship, the main couple or whatever that's driving this entire show as of right now, but I personally, after what he did, I wouldn't blame Kimberly for just like ignoring his ass, at least for like the rest of this school year, and then like later on developing something more. But since she's literally roommates with Leighton and Leighton is Nico's sister, that's not gonna happen. But it would make sense if it did. I wouldn't forgive Nico, but also Nico looks like that, so I would say I could fix him. I feel like if Kimberly can't, which I genuinely feel like she could, because I think Nico definitely has feelings for Kimberly that he's not outright saying. It's pissing me off. But if Kimberly isn't gonna fix him, I could. Don't judge me, please. Don't judge me. Like literally, what do you want me to do when he looks like that? Like, what do you want me to do? It's very annoying. I know. Yeah, that's how I feel about Nico. Just overall disappointing. Maybe he'll win me over in a redemption arc next season. Just very sad, but very, very sad. The potential was so high, and now he's just another guy. Tragic. Okay, now let's just get to the core four of the show. Let's get into my girls, my sisters, my besties. Whitney goes first. Okay, so Whitney, love her to bits. I do. That's my sister, my number one, my soccer player. That is she, that is her. She's sleeping with Dalton, already covered that. Glad that she didn't text him back in the end though. When she found out that he was sleeping with other girls from other schools and she didn't send that text, I was like, finally, growth. We're growing. We are understanding. Because even after they broke up, she was kind of mentioning him throughout the show, or at least the topic of him was getting brought up a lot to her, and she was obsessing over it because of course the story about him cheating got out to the school and everything. And so like I was just hoping that she didn't interact with him again through that second half of the season. I was like, please no, because although it's not her fault, obviously, because that's her coach, she's a student, Dalton obviously in the wrong. I was like, please, Whitney, do not fall for him. Do not do what I think that you're going to do. And she didn't. Love that. Because you guys don't understand, the swirl agenda almost had her. it almost had her, but she did not fail me in the end, and that's what matters to me. Her mom's a senator, so she has to keep everything that she does like under wraps. If it's something bad, like if it's something that like is terrible, bad, it can't go to the press, or else her mom will have like a bad look or whatever. So like her mom is very like hyper aware of what's going on when it comes to like Whitney and like the stuff that she's doing in school. Kind of, sort of, not really, not in like a good parental way, but like just to make sure that like Whitney doesn't ruin her image as a senator. So yeah, definitely mommy issues, but also somewhat daddy issues, because you can tell that her dad isn't in her life, hence why her mom was at Parents' Day and her dad wasn't, because he booked a gig on like some Bay Area concert thing. I don't know, kind of sound like a deadbeat, but I don't know him. We have not officially met him yet. We heard his voice over a phone call, and I think it's episode 7 or 8, and that was it. So yeah, I can't wait to meet that. As far as I can tell, Whitney's parents both suck, but at least her mom is somewhat trying in a terrible way, but she's trying nonetheless. I hope she ends up with Kanan. You already know this though. Hoping that we get to know more. Everyone says that like she has the most boring personality. I don't think she's boring. I just think that like all of her plot points in this season have not been really about her, but about like Dalton and how that has heavily affected her. Like I want to know more about her relationship with her parents versus like what this man has been doing to her. I feel like once we get into that, we can understand her more as a character. Like I feel like we barely scratched the surface of what Whitney is about, which is why I'm very excited for season 2, because I feel like that's going to be a very Whitney driven season, Whitney and Leighton, but I'll get into that later. Let's get into my girl, Bella. So yeah, my queen, my comedy queen. Love her. That's my sister. I see her, I understand her, I get her, like on a different level. She's just everything. I feel like honestly these are all my best friends, and I just want them all to be okay, especially Bella, because men are evil, and it's proven time and time again. Throughout this show, also in real life, but especially throughout this show, she got sexually assaulted by Ryan, what's his name? Ryan, the tall blonde guy in the cotillion or whatever. I did not mention any of the guys or people in the cotillion because, to be honest, it kind of pissed me off. At least the guys. A few of the girls were okay, but I did not mention Ryan or the guy with glasses because I do not feel like talking about them. They're terrible people, and that's that. Bella got sexually assaulted by Ryan, ? And that's kind of a big plot point throughout the season. It happens in like different scenarios. The first time he did it, he told her that he wanted to show her something funny up in his room or whatever, and he ended up showing porn and moaning and stuff, and it made her uncomfortable. Second time was when she was like upstairs in the cotillion house, in a part of the house where not many people are supposed to be, but he showed her anyway, and he like grinded up against her, and that was very gross, creepy, very predator-ish. Very predator, period. Not predator-ish, he's just a predator. They kicked him off like right after saying that Bella was lying about it. So the whole cotillion can like kiss my ass, honestly. They are not shit. I'm very happy that Bella and the rest of the girls from the cotillion are starting their own like comedy journalist centered group. Like I was waiting for that throughout the whole entire season, because as soon as I saw the cotillion and a bunch of these white men, I was like, okay, this is just trouble. So I'm very happy for Bella. I hope that the whole girl better version of cotillion is gonna go great for her. I'm sure it will. She's a girl boss. She does what she needs to do, in not a corny way, but the best way. So she might go out with the white guy with glasses. I don't remember his name. I don't feel bothered to, because he's very annoying. Here's my thing, right? A lot of people already shipped them, and I'm confused, because until that last 5-minute mark in the season, he was a dick to her throughout. He was the one who accused her of lying about the whole Ryan thing in like the second to last episode. But somehow y'all forget that. Yeah, like that has like apparently like vanished from your memory as soon as like they start awkwardly flirting and being cute in the last 5 minutes of the show. You guys are sick. I'm sorry. Like, I see it. I see the vision. I see what y'all are talking about to some extent, but I'm not forgiving him. I need a full-on redemption of sorts because he was treating Bella like crap and she deserves better. And I'm tired of swirls. I'm tired. Mindy Kaling, queen, girl, look, you did what you had to do with this show, but when it comes to all of your shows and the brown leads and the white male counterparts that you pair them with, it's very annoying. Please stop. I'm begging. Someone different for her. Please, please. She deserves so much better than the guy who accused her of lying about sexual assault. Please. Granted, like, he's the one that kicked Ryan off in the end, and I guess like he's kicked off a Catalan, or like he's kicked out of the apartment that he shares with Ryan, and he's homeless now. Boo hoo. But what am I supposed to do with this information? Like, I don't know. He kind of lost all respect for me. He's gonna have to like work his way up in my good graces. I know that Bella, being the angel she is already like forgiving of him, but me personally, I don't like the way that he treated her throughout the entire season. Either a different love interest or like the biggest redemption arc of my life that I've seen on television, because he's not good enough. I'm begging. Redemption arc of the century, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's how I feel about Bella. Love her. I love her so much. I just want better for her. That's all I want. Next, we have Leighton. Leighton, my girl. Y'all already know. Y'all already know that's my girl. Leighton, she's just another girl boss, but again, not in a cringy way. We first meet her when she got dropped by her friends from high school, because her friends from high school apparently go to this university, though we never see them after like the first or second episode. Like, they just stopped showing up, but apparently like she was supposed to room with them and they dropped her as friends in a terrible way. Like, they're definitely terrible people, terrible friends for sure. And so that's how she ends up rooming with Whitney, Bella, and Kimberly, and it's honestly just very wholesome, nice, sweet. Like, she figures out what real friendship is throughout the show, and that's what matters. Not to be corny, but it was really nice to see her development of how to treat people, of how to treat these people that are basically strangers in the beginning and then develop into friends. Like, the first time she came out was to Kimberly, which was such a big monumental moment for her as a character and for just like her and this friendship with them. Like, it was so, like, when she came out to Kimberly, I actually started crying. I was so happy for her, but like, it was honestly the saddest thing ever, because you could tell that she was having a mental breakdown while doing it, and I was just like, please just let her thrive, let her be okay. I'm begging. I do think she's gonna be okay next season. I think, you know, after Alicia did what she did, I think that Leighton's gonna go through a whole process of figuring out who she is after she's finally come out. Though she's only come out to one person, I feel like she's like slowly trying to figure out how she can be both gay and herself, because her whole thing about coming out was like she didn't want it to define who she was. Like, she's always been like this popular pretty girl with like good fashion sense, very smart, and she feels like when she comes out, like her being gay will like cloud all of that and make people see her in a different light. And so I think next season will just be about her figuring out who she is under that whole gay umbrella. I feel like she's gonna be fine. She's gonna be just fine, and I honestly do hope her and Alicia work it out as she slowly comes to terms with who she is and being okay with who she is. I really want her and Alicia to work out. Like, I don't know how, because it's obvious that Alicia likes her. Like, she even said it, even after she broke up with Leighton and Leighton came knocking on her door. She was like, yeah, of course I'm not over you, but I'm trying to get over you, and you coming to my apartment trying to make things work just isn't gonna work for me. And I felt so bad for Leighton. I did. I was like, girl, you're gonna be okay. It's gonna be like, she was in bed crying her eyes out, and I was like, Leighton, please, I'm so invested in Leighton specifically, because we got to see her just like all of the trials and tribulations she was going through, from having like no friends to having like 3 besties to figuring out her sexuality and who she is, while also like figuring out that her brother is like a piece of shit. Like, she's just like, her story arc was honestly very, very interesting throughout the whole entire show. Like, the way that it played, it was just so good. It was just so good. This is what I mean when Leighton's a girl's girl, because tell me why when Nico did not talk to Kimberly, Leighton confessed that Nico was cheating on the girlfriend with Kimberly to said girlfriend. Like, she literally went to the frat house, texted the girlfriend that Nico was with, and was like, hey, you know that Nico's like cheating on you, right? He's been cheating on you for like a while. And apparently Nico was mad at her about it, but I was like, you haven't, like, he literally came to the dorm, whatever, cafeteria, wherever they were at that point, mad, screaming at her. And I was like, you don't get to do that. You don't get to do that because you're on the wrong. Leighton's in the right. And Leighton was only looking out for Kimberly, something that Nico failed to do throughout the whole entire show. But unless it came to French, that boy was not looking out for her. And he was barely looking out for her when it came to French, because he skipped out on one of their tutoring sessions to go watch a football game, which made Kimberly cry into her cheesecake and eat it with Bella. Like, Nico is such a menace, which is why I love Leighton, because she understands this and calls him out for it and recognizes it and helps everyone else that is hurting from her brother's antics. Like, it's just so... she's just such a girl's girl. I really do love her. Leighton is the girl that y'all thrive to be but never will be. The one that you guys think you are but never will be. This mean girl act that y'all put on Twitter is the kind that Leighton has, but she does it better and with more class. Yeah. Let's move on to the last character I'm going to be talking about, Kimberly. Honestly, Kimberly just went through such a ride throughout season 1, and it's all because of Nico. It's all Nico's fault. Like I've said multiple times, everything could be blamed on Nico when it comes to Kimberly and everything she went through. It is all this man's fault. I guess we can just start off with saying like her ex-boyfriend was trash. So the fact that she went from Nico to her, like from her ex-boyfriend to Nico, what a change of events, right? Like, that was already like, oh, it's a whirlwind in her head. She was like, whoa, Nico. And I'm sure like the experience in bed was probably so much better with Nico than it was with her ex, who took her virginity, then broke up with her. Terrible guy. But we don't need to talk about him. She started sleeping with Nico. I feel like she should have told Leighton off the bat. I also feel like Nico should have told Leighton off the bat. I feel like both of them were in the wrong for that, because why would you keep this from Leighton, your roommate slash friend? And Nico, why would you keep this from Leighton, your sister? Yeah, weird. After Nico's whole shenanigans got brought to light, and Kimberly was feeling the things that she was feeling, anger, a mistrust, embarrassed, she took the cheat sheet from the frat for her econ test. She got exposed for cheating by someone, a faculty member, I'm assuming, and now her scholarship is no more. It's cut. So she needs to figure out what to do with thousands of dollars. You know, I feel like genuinely, I just feel like she's already been put through the ringer. I feel like if she just starts to GoFundMe, maybe she will be fine. I feel like, because if she just puts all of the events that happened to her this semester in her description box for her GoFundMe, she'll be fine. I don't know how she's gonna get the thousands of dollars that she needs to pay for by next semester, but I have faith. Nothing, she has main character syndrome. She's gonna be fine. Like, she's not going anywhere, guys, because Kimberly is my girl. And so if something happens to her, I will have to step in. Her taking the cheat sheet, was it the best choice? No. But technically, like, Nico is indirectly the reason why she's failing that class and why she like needed to cheat. So I understand why she took it from his frat, because they have a whole box of cheat sheets. I'm also proud of her that she told the principal, administration, whatever, that frat had all the cheat sheets to the test. I low-key thought she was just gonna walk off and pretend like that doesn't exist, like she wouldn't expose them. I'm glad that she did. It's the least that Nico deserved, because I think that he's like the president of the frat, or like one of the lead head members of the frat, so he's gonna definitely like he's gonna face repercussions. He better. Like, I'm assuming he will for sure. I'm glad that she told on him and the rest of the boys in that fraternity for what they did, because serious, it's very serious, and he deserves to be punished, that Nico boy, for being a menace throughout the whole entire season. Not the entire season, but at least the last 5 episodes. Just a menace. Just terrible. I don't know how she's gonna get thousands of dollars. I don't know. I'm so scared for her, but like, I know that she'll get it. I just don't know how. Like, that cliffhanger, honestly, really good, because it's such a real life cliffhanger. Like, once you lose that scholarship, you're like done. Like, college kids know. It's just like, I felt my heart plummet. Like, as soon as she said that she lost this, like, I was like, oh no. Only wishing the best for her next season, especially when it comes to like her guy problems. I hope that she's finally over Nico, because She didn't outright say that she was over him in the season finale, but I'm assuming she is, or like she'll maybe find better. I doubt it because Nico's the main love interest, but we'll just have to see, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea where this is going for Kimberly, which is why I'm kind of hooked. But yeah, those are all of the main characters. And now I'm just going to talk about the stuff I liked. I was writing down my notes. There's something that I really disliked about this show. Like, I'm trying to think even now. Like, was there something I disliked? I don't think so. So yeah, outright, I'm just going to say that I love how college was portrayed in this show. As someone who was in college, I'm in like my second year of college, university. I have to say that the portrayal of this damn show, so good. The execution, so good. This is what I've been waiting for. Like, this show was made for me. I kid you not, guys, because there have been, of course, different shows about teenagers entering college, and teenage girls specifically entering college, and like the new adventures of womanhood and stuff, but it's usually done in a very corny way or just like outright terrible. I'm looking at you, Grownish. I'm looking at you, Grownish, terrible. With this show, it just felt so natural. Like the acting, the storylines, the plot, it all just felt so natural. The problems seemed so realistic that it honestly hurt because as a college student, like I said, I felt almost every single one of their, like, it was bad. It was, oh my God. But it made it so good. Like, it felt like a show that I could relate to. And it was really, really fun to watch. Throughout the whole entire show, I didn't get bored. That's crazy. Like, there was not one episode that flopped. Out of all the 10 episodes, they had me hooked from beginning to end. And I personally like that because it's hard to do because my attention span is one of a fish. So good job on that. When it comes to the ships and everything, like the ships that I liked the most were, of course, like I said, I really loved Alicia and Leighton. The only ship that I really cared about, I would say Whitney and Kanan, but they're not like a confirmed ship yet. But we know that they're gonna, we know that something's gonna happen. Sorry to you Kanan and Kimberly shippers, but Whitney and Kanan definitely are, they're gonna be a thing because I said so, okay? So, but yeah, my favorite ship of all was Alicia and Leighton, and I have hope that they will make it next season, guys. I loved their relationship a lot. Like, they kind of had me hooked throughout like the other half of the show. It was so good, so wholesome, and yeah, I don't know, I really, really loved it. The whole entire like being in the closet LGBT storyline of the show didn't feel forced or corny. Like, even though Leighton kind of felt like very pushy and rude at times, like you still felt for her as a character. Like, no matter what, like she was just like, the actress that plays her, I forget her name, but like she did such a good job. The actresses, all of the people that acted in the show honestly did a really good job. Like, I don't know where HBO found these people. I know that Kimberly is the sister of Timothée Chalamet. I found that out today and I haven't been able to get that out of my head since, because like they look exactly the same and I see it now. So I know where they found her, I guess. Everyone else, I don't know, but I hope that they're getting their checks worth because they acted their butts off. They did everything that they needed to do. Guys, if you haven't watched it yet, I'm assuming you have, or else you wouldn't have watched this video. But in case you haven't, you should. It's a really good show. Literally 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. Amazing. And yeah, tell me what you think about it in the comments down below. I'm officially done. If you have enjoyed this video, thank you. If you'd like to talk to me more about this show, this amazing, spectacular, fantastical show, you can let me know, again, down in the comments or on Twitter, which will be here. I mostly interact on Twitter, but if you'd like to follow me on all my other social medias, they will be linked in the description below. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, everyone.